The United States government has long been associated with a range of unusual and often highly classified research initiatives. One particularly intriguing project has recently emerged from declassification. This project centers on the exploration of psychic abilities and neurological enhancement known as the Gateway Process experience. Now, the hacking group Anonymous has shared the declassified government document titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process on social media, and it quickly captured the attention of hundreds of thousands of viewers. The document, which explores altered states of consciousness, brainwave manipulation, and potential psychic abilities, sparked widespread interest and curiosity. As the file circulated across platforms, new discussions emerged around the legitimacy of these experiments and their potential implications. In the opening section, the analyst begins by addressing the scope of the study, offering a detailed examination of whether the gateway process could be considered a viable and structured methodology for altering human consciousness, with possible use in intelligence or defense-related operations. However, the author includes a cautionary note about potential risks. As subjects begin to engage with realities beyond the space-time continuum, there is a warning that they may encounter intelligent, non-physical beings. These entities, described as energy-based forms, could interact with participants who are unprepared. The report suggests that any individual undergoing advanced stages of gateway training must be intellectually ready for these potential encounters and equipped to handle them without psychological distress. In closing, the document hints at the possibility of using the gateway process not only to expand human cognition, but also as a tool to interface with universal consciousness, and perhaps even to acquire knowledge from entities beyond our known reality. Most likely, the US government was unaware of what the gateway process really entailed, and so sent an independent researcher to the experimentation areas to undergo the process and learn if there was any legitimacy to the study in the first place for continued funding. Within the first paragraph of the document, however, the researcher makes a special note to include that the gateway process was a technique designed by Itzhak Bentov, stating the following. Based on conversations with a physician who took the gateway training with me, I had recourse to the biomedical models developed by Itzhak Bentov to obtain information concerning the physical aspects of the process. Then I found it necessary to delve into various sources for information concerning quantum mechanics in order to be able to describe the nature and functioning of human consciousness. I had to be able to construct a scientifically valid and reasonably lucid model of how consciousness functions under the influence of the brain hemisphere synchronization technique employed by Gateway. The document then goes into the breakdown of what the gateway process holds, with the first explanation from the researcher being in regards to the human body's natural frequencies of the brain and the frequency-following response. According to the study, a form of enlightenment can be triggered in a person's mind when both hemispheres of the brain begin operating at the same frequency, allowing them to communicate without any form of distraction and leading to a heightened state of focus. Although it requires a number of different techniques to reach this state, the main contributing factor in the study was a device that relied on the human body's natural frequency following response. In the document, the researcher details the following statement. Among the more unusual revelations found in the declassified document titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process are descriptions of brain synchronization techniques and advanced mental exercises that were studied as part of the Gateway training program. One key component involved achieving a synchronization of the brain's hemispheres, a condition believed to enhance mental capacity and unlock latent abilities. This synchronization, known as hemispheric sync, could reportedly be assisted through hypnosis by trained professionals or by using meditation practices that closely mirror transcendental meditation. In the document, it is noted that individuals who had practiced transcendental meditation for 2 decades or more could maintain a natural hemispheric sync state for up to 15 minutes without technological support. These naturally achieved states were viewed as rare and impressive, further emphasizing the significance of the gateway techniques in reaching such conditions more rapidly through training and technological aid. According to the findings, the process of learning to maintain a hemispheric sync using technology typically required about 7 days of focused training. Once achieved, subjects could begin engaging with the core exercises of the gateway process experience. The first major task introduced to subjects was referred to as problem solving, with the aid of what was called the higher self. In this context, the higher self was described as an unfiltered access point to the subconscious, an internal, limitless database capable of retrieving every piece of knowledge a person had ever learned. Once in a state of complete hemispheric sync, individuals could call upon this inner self to help resolve a wide array of challenges, ranging from deeply personal issues to complex scientific and technical problems. In this enhanced cognitive state, the brain was said to function almost like an instant processing supercomputer, rapidly analyzing and understanding information far beyond its ordinary capacity. The second major exercise involved the use of a technique referred to as the energy bar tool. In this task, subjects were instructed to visualize streams of energy coursing through their body, energy that was said to originate from the universe itself. This visualization exercise aimed to enhance the subject's awareness and control over their body's internal systems, theoretically allowing them to consciously influence autonomous processes like healing, blood flow, and heart rate regulation. According to the document, this ability reflected a higher mind-body connection and was considered a significant step in developing one's full mental potential. The third major training phase, usually the last for most participants, was described as a form of memory-based remote viewing. This practice did not align with the typical definition of remote viewing, which involves perceiving distant or hidden locations using psychic means. Instead, gateway participants were instructed to access personal memories and recreate them in vivid, holographic detail. By doing so, subjects could relive experiences with total clarity, recalling information in full sensory immersion as though it were happening in real time. This heightened memory recall was described as an advanced form of introspection that enabled total mental clarity and self-awareness. According to the researcher who authored the report, the majority of participants did not progress beyond these three stages. However, a small percentage, estimated at fewer than 5%, were able to move into even more advanced and obscure cognitive territories. One of the final stages, referred to as Focus 21, the future, involved surpassing conventional boundaries of space and time to access glimpses of future events. In this phase, individuals were trained to mentally shift their awareness beyond the present moment, using states achieved during previous exercises like out-of-body experiences. The document describes this process as dependent on the subject's ability to harmonize their brain frequency, not only internally, but also with the broader electromagnetic patterns present in the universe. Once aligned with these universal fields, it was believed that the mind could temporarily separate from the body, absorbing information in a way similar to how a radio picks up waves or how human eyes capture light. In such a state, consciousness was thought to be able to receive information from both the future and the past, including events inaccessible by memory alone. Although the report outlines these practices in great detail, it does not provide physical evidence or scientific validation for the claims involving time travel, remote viewing, or out-of-body experiences. Despite this, the document's author concludes that the gateway process is grounded in scientific logic, particularly in its goal of enhancing cognitive functioning, and should be viewed as a plausible method for exploring the outer limits of human consciousness. One of the more unexpected portions of the report discusses a theoretical model of the universe. It suggests that the universe might be shaped like a three-dimensional torus, or donut-like structure, which could help explain why certain areas of space appear to move at different speeds. The model theorizes that galactic motion could be influenced by this structure, essentially curving the fabric of space in ways that traditional cosmology has yet to fully understand. In its final remarks, the report recommends expanding gateway training to all members of the intelligence community. A 12-step implementation plan was proposed to roll out the program across the organization. However, the author includes a cautionary note about potential risks. As subjects begin to engage with realities beyond the space-time continuum, there is a warning that they may encounter intelligent, non-physical beings. These entities, described as energy-based forms, could interact with participants who are unprepared. The report suggests that any individual undergoing advanced stages of gateway training must be intellectually ready for these potential encounters and equipped to handle them without psychological distress. In closing, the document hints at the possibility of using the gateway process, not only to expand human cognition, but also as a tool to interface with universal consciousness, and perhaps even to acquire knowledge from entities beyond our known reality. While much of the content remains speculative, the structure and tone of the document suggest that these ideas were taken seriously by those within the organization, highlighting just how far the boundaries of government-sponsored research have been willing to stretch. The document states that the universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion. It is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. According to the theories of Carl Pribram, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, and David Bohm, a physicist at the University of London, the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram by the medium of energy exchange, thereby deducing meaning and achieving the state which we call consciousness. With respect to states of expanded or altered consciousness, such as Gateway uses, the process operates in the following way. As energy passes through various aspects of the universal hologram and is perceived by the electrostatic fields which comprise the human mind, the holographic images being conveyed are projected upon those electrostatic fields of the mind and are perceived or understood to the extent that the electrostatic field is operating at a frequency and amplitude that can harmonize with and therefore read the energy carrier wave pattern passing through it. Changes in the frequency and amplitude of the electrostatic field which comprises the human mind determines the configuration and hence the character of the holographic energy matrix which the mind projects to intercept meaning directly from the holographic transmissions of the universe. Then, to make sense of what the holographic image is saying to it, the mind proceeds to compare the image just received with itself. Specifically, it does this by comparing the image received with that part of its own hologram, which constitutes memory. The pyramids located in Egypt have consistently been the subject of countless ideas and theories. Since their first discovery, scientists and scholars have made ongoing efforts to unravel the mysterious nature of their construction. Recently, there has been a disclosure of KGB files holding fascinating information about a celestial being that was recovered from inside the Great Pyramid. Dr. Viktor Ivanovich, a science advisor for an advanced propulsion system, has uncovered significant information concerning a secretive project. Dr. Ivanovich revealed that the KGB deployed covert operatives within the Egyptian government. These operatives recorded phone conversations related to the renowned pyramids with the intention of conducting surveillance. The freshly disclosed files provide insight into a fascinating event in history, indicating an exceptional correlation between a divine entity and the ancient Egyptians. Dr. Viktor Ivanovich, renowned for his profound knowledge in cutting-edge propulsion systems, revealed extraordinary revelations on the clandestine operation. In 1960, Dr. Ivanovich made a key discovery involving Sami Sharif, the Egyptian Minister of Presidential Affairs. A fascinating Egyptian tape recording was extensively featured during the airing of the television series Secret KGB Files. This intriguing recording, originating from July 24, 1961, was presented during the show, providing valuable insights into a significant historical event. The individuals involved in the mission reportedly encountered a well-preserved ancient extraterrestrial in 1961. The objective of the project involved the participation of numerous Egyptologists from the Soviet Academy of Sciences, as well as scientists and military professionals. Sami Sharaf, a trusted associate of President Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, commanded the squad. The initial mention of this remarkable narrative occurred during the mission in the video, which was later described as a covert Russian expedition conducted in Egypt in 1961. The objective of the mission was to reveal the tomb of the visitor. The documentary, titled The Secret KGB Files, was initially presented to the public in 1998 by the United States. The documentary states that there is a film that provides evidence of a segment of the classified mission. The film depicting the covert operation was released by a Russian intermediary who asserts to have acquired it from the classified archives of the KGB. The video, presented in black and white, depicts Soviet workers retrieving what seems to be a mummified alien from a sarcophagus found in a tomb on the Giza Plateau. Forensic specialists, as reported by the news channel who hosted the video, have verified the video's veracity. They claim to have acquired the film from Russian insiders, and assert that it originates from the vaults of the KGB. Testimonies from senior officials appear to support the claim that the sarcophagus, retrieved by Russian military forces, indeed held the remains of an extraterrestrial entity. Dr. Ivanovich provides his expertise as an astrophysicist and neurologist, and discloses that the presence of this mysterious being originated from the celestial realm and shared their exceptional wisdom and knowledge with the people of Earth before eventually leaving. In addition, Dr. Ivanovich reveals a surprising revelation that one of these celestial beings actually passed away on our planet. In order to pay tribute to and safeguard the remembrance of this divine being, a hidden tomb of the highest level of confidentiality was covertly built inside the majestic pyramid. Remarkably, senior Egyptian officials recently revealed this astonishing fact during a private telephone discussion. Since then, several researchers have endeavored to find the exact location of the hidden burial chamber. Reports indicate that Egyptian authorities, in collaboration with officials from many nations, have effectively retrieved the creature from the pyramid and securely stored it in a heavily fortified location. Secret 30-foot chamber found inside the Great Pyramid. The pyramids of Egypt, especially the Great Pyramids of Giza, stand as some of the most iconic and mysterious structures in human history. Currently, historians and experts believe that they were built during the Old Kingdom period, and these monumental structures have fascinated archaeologists and the general public for centuries. Despite extensive study and numerous theories, the pyramids remain shrouded in mystery. The sheer precision and scale of the pyramids are among the primary reasons they remain unexplained. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance, was constructed with such accuracy that the sides of the base have an average error of just 58 millimeters in length. The alignment of the pyramid to the cardinal points is also remarkably precise, deviating only slightly from true north. Achieving this level of accuracy would be challenging even with modern technology, yet the ancient Egyptians accomplished it using tools made of stone, copper, and bronze. The Great Pyramid has long captivated researchers, scientists, and amateur Egyptologists. Currently, emerging technologies are aiding scientists in gaining a deeper understanding of the internal composition of the pyramid. Recently, researchers have utilized non-invasive technologies to uncover a 30-foot passageway inside the pyramid. While the purpose of the secret realm remains unknown to them, they hold the belief that there could be similar spaces in existence. In the 19th century, scientists commenced the process of exhuming and excavating Egyptian pyramids. It was discovered that architects intentionally created the pyramids with inside chambers in order to safeguard the pharaohs and their valuable possessions from potential thieves. Excavating the interior of a pyramid posed a significant threat of causing irreparable damage to its structure. Consequently, for over 100 years, researchers were left to conjecture about the contents concealed within. Nevertheless, in the past few decades, non-destructive methods like cosmic ray detectors and infrared thermography have been assisting scholars in examining pyramids without inflicting harm. A concealed 30-foot tunnel was further elucidated in a 2023 study published in the scientific journal Nature by an international consortium of academics hailing from Egypt, France, and Japan. The corridor has a width of approximately 6 feet and is located above the main entrance on the north side of the pyramid. The study team, affiliated with the Scan Pyramids project, initially discovered the existence of a corridor and an additional vacant area referred to as the Big Void in 2016 and 2017 respectively. The architects of the pyramids likely constructed the corridor with the intention of evenly distributing the weight and therefore safeguarding the pyramid against collapse. The experts have not entered the tunnel for thousands of years, but they assume that the design was intentional. The content beyond the end of the corridor is uncertain. The Scan Pyramids teams employed a divide-and-conquer strategy in order to get insight into the interior of the pyramid. 2 Japanese teams entered familiar chambers located beneath the corridor in order to gain a more comprehensive understanding of its structure. A team of French individuals operated externally. Each individual utilized a cosmic ray muon detector of their own to ascertain the quantity of muons that were absorbed by the building. A decreased number of muons would suggest that the rock possesses a substantial mass and high density. A greater intensity of rays indicated the absence of any obstructions hindering their passage. Once the teams analyzed their findings, and assessed the size of the area, they were authorized to insert an endoscopic camera into the corridor through a narrow opening. The laborers responsible for constructing the pyramid were the final individuals to have access to the corridor's interior. Nevertheless, the camera footage offered a unique opportunity to see inside the concealed chamber and unveiled its distinctive design. Launched in 2015, this project aimed to use advanced, non-invasive technologies to explore the internal structures of Egypt's ancient pyramids without causing damage to these precious monuments. The Scan Pyramids team employed several cutting-edge technologies to detect the hidden voids. The primary method was muon tomography, which uses cosmic rays to create images of the pyramid's interior. Muons are subatomic particles that can penetrate deep into solid materials. By placing detectors inside and outside the pyramid, scientists can measure the muon flux and create a three-dimensional map of its internal structure. Differences in muon density reveal the presence of voids or less dense areas within the pyramid. In addition to the big void, the Scan Pyramids team identified several smaller voids and anomalies. These include a corridor-like void behind the chevrons on the north face of the pyramid and a smaller cavity near the pyramid's entrance. These discoveries indicate that the pyramid's internal structure is more complex than previously thought and may contain additional hidden chambers and passageways. One of the most intriguing questions raised by the discovery of the hidden voids is their role in the pyramid's construction. Some researchers suggest that these voids may have been used to reduce the weight of the stone blocks above the Grand Gallery and other critical areas, preventing structural collapse. Alternatively, they could have served as temporary construction spaces or areas for workers to maneuver large blocks into place. The construction of the pyramids required a massive labor force, yet the logistics of assembling and maintaining such a workforce remain unclear. Estimates suggest that tens of thousands of workers were needed, but how they were organized, housed, sustained, and if this was even what happened during the pyramid's construction is still a topic of debate. The exact methods of quarrying, transporting and assembling the massive stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons, add another layer of complexity to the mystery. The pyramid's precise alignment with celestial bodies indicates an advanced understanding of astronomy. The Great Pyramid, for example, is aligned with remarkable accuracy to the cardinal points and the stars of Orion's belt. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians had sophisticated knowledge of the stars and their movements. The question remains how this knowledge was acquired and applied with such precision. The design and construction of the pyramids required advanced mathematical knowledge. The dimensions of the Great Pyramid, for instance, embody the golden ratio and demonstrate an understanding of pi. The fact that such mathematical concepts were used in construction long before they were formally documented in other cultures suggests that the Egyptians had a level of mathematical sophistication that is not fully understood. One of the most puzzling aspects of the pyramids is the lack of detailed contemporary records explaining their construction. While there are inscriptions and documents that provide some information about the pharaohs who commissioned the pyramids, there is little in the way of detailed engineering plans or records of the construction process. This absence of documentation makes it difficult to understand the methods and technologies used by the builders. The passage of millennia has likely resulted in the loss of crucial knowledge about the construction techniques and purposes of the pyramids. Natural degradation, human activity, and historical upheavals have contributed to the erosion of records and artifacts that might have explained these mysteries. What remains are the structures themselves and a few scattered clues, leaving much to speculation and interpretation. One of the more controversial theories is that the pyramids were built with the assistance of advanced beings or a lost civilization. Proponents of this theory argue that the precision, scale, and advanced knowledge required to build the pyramids exceed the capabilities of ancient human societies. While this theory lacks empirical evidence and is generally dismissed by the scientific community, it highlights the sense of wonder and disbelief that the pyramids inspire. Another theory posits that the ancient Egyptians possessed advanced technology that has since been lost to history. This could include sophisticated tools or techniques for moving and assembling large stone blocks. The lack of physical evidence for such technology means this theory remains speculative, but it underscores the possibility that there are aspects of ancient Egyptian society that we have yet to discover or understand. The pyramids of Egypt, especially the Great Pyramids of Giza, remain shrouded in mystery for several reasons. The precision and scale of their construction, the advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics required, the lack of detailed historical documentation, and the numerous theories and speculations all contribute to their mysterious nature. These ancient monuments stand as testaments to the ingenuity and capabilities of the ancient Egyptians, and their mysteries continue to captivate the imagination. As technology advances and new discoveries are made, we may come closer to understanding the full story behind the pyramids, but for now, they remain one of history's greatest mysteries.